Well, good evening, KingdomPreneurs. How are you today? It is day 17 of our 30 days of energy pull to create the space of pulling energy to create the space for the life that you desire and the future you want to create. We're talking today about being that munificent kingdom capitalist financier capitalist and creating space for your soulmate clients and customers. Because how do you pull that energy? How do you be the energy of what your clients need and require from you? Because if you're going to attract your soulmate client into your life, you have to be that vibration and that frequency, that energetic match to them. You have to walk in that space. You have to own that space. You have to operate in that space. And the reason why that's important is because there is information overload out there. I mean, I've often tell people, go to the University of YouTube, go to the University of Google, because basically anything that you need and want to know, you can Google it or you can YouTube it. Somebody is teaching on it. Somebody is put some information out there. And if you're going to be worth your salt in what you're doing, you have to go out and look into the sandbox of what you're offering to people and to be that vibrational match that they need. The thing is, again, I am a Satella Devote, and as I say, I'm a KingdomPreneur, which is a spiritual entrepreneur. I am a kingdom believer. This is why I use the word KingdomPreneur. And this comes to the heart of what I'm trying to say to you about being that vibration to match your soulmate clients and customers for your enterprise or for the services or products that you offer. There are almost 9 billion people in the world, and people are looking for you. But they're looking for an energetic match. I remembered when I first started out, I was not authentic because I was just learning the landscape of what it meant to be online. And I kept, every time I was trying to find how to market what I wanted to serve or what I wanted to be out there for people to connect with. And I kept coming up to coaching and marketing information. Now, I have a degree in marketing, but that's really not the space so much so that I want to live in. And when I tried to be just another online marketer out there marketing my services, I felt discombobulated. I felt unauthentic. I felt, not being my genuine self. I felt that I was forcing myself to be an online salesman. And being an online salesman was the furthest thing from my mind. At the core and essence of what I wanted to be and who I am is that I am a KingdomPreneur. Again, what does that mean? For me, that means that my faith and my spirituality is reflected in the way that I do and conduct business. And I was trying to take that reality and mesh it with being this entrepreneur, being this facilitator, as it were. Because every time I tried to call myself a coach, it was some kind of vibration there, some frequency that was not matching, that was not an energetic match of what I truly was being in the world. And for me to be me in the world and show up authentically, I had to say, you know what? If I'm going to attract the kind of people, my soulmate clients and customers that I want to work with on online businesses and offline enterprises, I'm going to have to find a way. And then I started thinking, but, I started finding people who said they were spiritual, but their spirituality and my spirituality was still not a match. And so I had to come to the place in my core values and my core belief that if this is what the Creator of the universe has given me and put me out there to be and do, and calling me into this space online to do it, then there has to be people out there that are looking and searching for what I have to offer. And what I have to offer is not so much of being a coach to them as being a facilitator and a supporter of helping them identify, as you've heard me say, their soul scroll, mission, and purpose. And that's really what I'm here to do. I am a leader to leaders. I am a spiritual facilitator and mentor, and helping people get clear and clarity on what it is, why they're here, what it is they're called to do, how they're supposed to do it. And then the last thing that we do is figure out the monetary factor around that. So when I was trying to how to find a 1, 2, 3 steps to fill a funnel or get your funnel cycle going correctly, when I was trying to give you, which software system that you needed to use, you could tell I was uncomfortable, because that's not where I really wanted to speak from. I wanted to have a conversation with people. I wanted to have engagement with spiritual people who are moving beyond. See, you've tried. My core people, my core soulmate clients are people who have tried to connect to the universe, tried to connect to Mother Earth, to Gaia. They have tried all of these metaphysical things, consciousness. And I keep saying to people, how can you connect to consciousness when you are not even willing to admit that there is a creator who created the universe, who created the earth, who created the cosmos, the universe, and all of the galaxies out there? There is that being that is out there that created us. We're connected to them, whether you want to understand it or not. And my soul clients, the people that will be drawn and attracted to working with me, are the people who've tried everything else and come to the conclusion that, you know what? It has to be more than this. It has to be something more than this. This can't be it. I've learned the techniques. I've learned some techniques, the 1, 2, 3 or 7.5 point steps to consciousness, or I've done the self-development. But even after I've done all of that, something is still missing. I want to do something in the world. I want to have impact in the world. I want to help people. I want to feel fantastic about it. This is the munificent, that goodness, that, open-handed, philanthropic, liberal, magnanimous person in the world, as I said the other night, who, when you create your enterprise, when you come to create this online business that you're offering, or this online enterprise or offline enterprise that you're creating, the energy of it is a win-win, where you're coming to be an empowerment and a contribution to people. And if you're going to be that, you have to be authentic, and you have to be, we spoke about being you in the world, showing up and being seen and having impact. When I made the decision that, you know what, I really want to speak to people out there, spiritual, creative, entrepreneurs, seekers, people who have been in the corporate arena and have made a lot of money, and they're still missing something. I know what you're missing, and I can help you unlock what that is and who you need to connect to. This is why when I said, you can try to get to the creator, but if you're going to bypass the sun, you're not really going to make it. And so the people that I'm going to connect with, I'm using myself as an example in this process of connecting. There are a lot of people who've listened to these videos, And for some people, it's a seed sown, and maybe 3 or 4 years from now, they'll reach back out and they'll say, you know what? There was a woman online with short hair and, liked to wear these hanging, colorful earrings and always had her hands up in the air. But she said something that made sense. I need to find her. What was her name? Was it Stella? Satella? And they'll search for you. And because the energy of them, it's the energetic flow of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And what happens is a lot of spiritual people are more teachers than they are coaches. And the reason you're not getting the response that you're looking for out there is because you're trying to be something that you're not. Being you and showing up in the world and having the kind of impact that you want to have means that you have to be willing to be vulnerable. It came a point where I knew that there were people who were going to judge me. There were people who were going to be critical of me. And for a long time, I just did not want to contend with that. But when I learned to be a receiver, a receptor of receiving, to receive everything, the good, the bad, the negative, the people who are going to say you don't know what you're talking about, the people who are going to say that you're very limited because you believe in God, Yahweh, the creator, and you believe in Jesus, Yeshua, his son. And, I'm too sophisticated for that. I'm too developed for that. That's fine. Go your way. We're not an energetic match. And until you become clear with yourself about who you want to serve and be a contribution to, I knew and I know what it felt like to struggle to find my voice and to be able to speak from that place authentically. But there are people who want to come online, who want to work. I remember the struggle of trying to put a website together. I put a whole website together, okay? And then I couldn't find it online. And every time I talk with the hosting company, they'll tell me, well, we could see it. I'm like, well, I'm sure glad you could see it. And I could see it from the back door. But when I type it in and try and find it otherwise, I'm not finding it. And I was extremely frustrated because I paid for that. And I was still in that frequency, that negative frequency of trying to put a system together that was going to create some kind of funnel. And I remember sitting back one day and saying, I don't want to put people in a funnel. I don't want to do that. I want to talk with people about very serious things. I want to talk to people who love business and entrepreneurship from the perspective of having an impact in the world, creating businesses for the sole purpose of being a help, of creating a space of capacity for people to live credible and decent lives. And then make money and have profit. So the people who only want to create a system so they could get 500 clients or buy an email list, and the list is the most important thing. And I remember when I was trying to find a list, and then I was, well, where are the spiritual people? And it's a process that you have to work yourself through, and you have to become honest in your core belief of what it is that you want to bring to the table that will be of service and a contribution, and operate from that space. I want to operate from a space where we're going to have an energetic exchange of currency and in a monetary sense. But that's at the end of the picture, not because it's of less value, but it actually becomes the byproduct, because you doing what you're meant to do in the world creates the resources for you to not only live your life, but to live your life in such a way that it has impact with other people. That's the energy that you want to be in. That's the energy that you want to start expanding yourself out and reaching out into the world to draw people and bring them to you, because there's a lot of energetic work that you have to do. You have to remember that everything that you are in your truest sense already has a vibrational energetic match to it. And it's pinging out there. And you're looking for each other like a beacon. But until you start really being you, the people that are looking for you, that need what you have to offer, they can't find you because you're not in the same space. And then you have to start showing up in that space from that energetic space of wanting to be of a contribution to them, wanting to be of service to them, to help them transition. I can talk to people and relate with people and be of assistance and a facilitator and a mentor to people, loosely a coach if you want to call it that, at that point, to people who are still seeking, who are still trying to get clarity. And then we can strategize, because I'm a visionary. I could think of 100 reasons how to monetize whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you're putting out there to be of service to people. Yes, you're going to sell it at some point, but the way that you're going to sell it is going to be from that space where spiritual people and creative people and healing people needed to come from, which is that we're coming from a space where we really want to help people. Because the truth of the matter is, people like us, money is important to us, and then it's not important to us at all. Because if I can't really be me, then I'm not, then what happens is you actually shut down and you get depressed and you don't do anything. And then you kind of work yourself out of it, and then you try again. But if you're still trying from that negative space energy, where you're trying to fit into the masses, you're doing the wrong thing. Because you don't need to try to fit in, you need to stand out. And you stand out because guess what? There's only one Satella DeVoe in the world. I mean, that's really true for me. There's not another Satella DeVoe in the world. It's so unique. And so I know that my uniqueness was there from the very beginning. And when I stepped in, when Yahweh was calling me an apostle of entrepreneurship, I did not have a business. And I'm like, why are you playing with me? Why are you playing with my emotions, Lord? Because you're making fun of me. Every business that I've ever started up to that point had failed. But here you are calling me this top of the line entrepreneur. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't feel like that. Okay. So in my essence, I couldn't step into that vibrational truth because I was still judging myself according to the world system as a failure. And I had a lot of people around me who were telling me, you've tried a lot of stuff and it has failed, so you just need to go and get a regular job because it's not working. And it could not work because I was not being who I was meant to be, because I was still trying to fit it. I was trying to be me, but I was trying to be me from the world's perspective instead of just being authentically me and speaking as I'm speaking now. 2 years ago, I couldn't do that because I was still trying to fit in. When you stop trying to fit in and become authentic, being your truest, highest self, when you begin to connect with your neshama, spirit, which has no ego in place, that's a whole nother space of operating from. When you step up into a situation and you can automatically, within 3 seconds of being it, begin to strategize and see what's missing, what's not happening right, and see clear lines where they can make adjustments and shifts and changes that would be of such service and benefit to themselves. I spoke the other day about people, so-called people being called managers, but not being empowered to actually make decisions on the floor, dealing with clients and customers. It's very foolish because they're not empowered. And they're not empowered because people are still operating from an old paradigm of top-down leadership mindsets, which is very linear, as opposed to working from another space, doing business as, excuse me, as we said. I'm sorry, I've been fighting a cold and a cough for the last several days. Hopefully I'm getting out of it. Ooh, there's a ringing in my ear. But operating from that space that's oppressive, micromanaging, and not allowing people to be a creative energy in that space. But you yourself have to learn first to be the leader within yourself, to be the empowerment within yourself, because you can only give what you have. I can't tell you, when I was functioning as a pastor of a church, how many people would come to me for advice, and how many people would also come to me because I also worked in the financial services arena, people who would always come to me about a business plan or to get my input on what they were thinking about doing. And I always sit down with them and have these conversations that would allow them, when they got up from the desk, from the chair, they would, they would say, I now know what I want to do. And that's where I'm really good, in helping you figure it out. But if I'm trying to sell you a funnel system that I don't friggin' understand myself fully, from the from the background perspective of setting it up. Now, I am smart enough, I can tell you where to go. And I certainly will tell you where to go, because I'm not going to help you do that. Am I going to help you get clear? Absolutely. I'm going to help you get clear. So I want you to think about some things tonight as you think about how to become the energy. And then in the next couple of days, we're going to do an energy pull, because there's no sense in pulling the energy when you're not clear. I asked you to get clear about some things the other day from a personal perspective, and now I'm asking you to get clear again, going a little deeper from another perspective, because there are 3 areas, and we're not going to address them tonight because we're going to go too long if I do. We'll address them tomorrow. As I said, there's a lot of information out there. People can find anything. One of the things that the people that I would work with that are probably 2 steps behind me would be afraid of is people knowing what they know. People know what you know. People know what I know. But they haven't reached the place where they're ready to become at one with themselves in what they know, and then be of service to somebody else with it. Because they're still trying to look professional. They're still trying to look like an expert. I don't necessarily want to be an expert. I want us to have an engagement. I want us to have an experience. I want us to be able to say, you know what, uh, uh, you know, if this is the area you want to work in, well, let's take health for a moment. You want to be a healer or a health entrepreneur, but then that's like the Marco level of it. You got to bring that down and define it to almost a niche area of exactly what you bring to in that area. If you were talking to somebody who said, you want to be in the wellness area and help people with their health, and someone says, well, I've been overweight and I don't know why, I've tried this diet, that diet, and blah, 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 and I need to lose weight. Well, if you just give them a 7-step plan that you got from someplace else, as opposed to doing the work, and let's get down to the real reason, energetically, why you're overweight. And when we get down to it energetically, that's another. Now you're getting at the solution. Now you're able to get at the root of the matter. And then now you're able to bring a solution that could be twofold. Maybe we need to look at your body type and your blood type and the type of foods that are best suited for your body and blood type. You see what I'm saying? That's different than me trying to give you a system that I got off of ClickBank that I can sell you so that you can turn around and just be an affiliate. And I'm not knocking any of those things because there are other streams of income. But what I'm saying, you have to identify, you probably have 3 to 5 people or 5 to 7 people that you could literally be of service to. And then you have to identify how you're going to be of service to them. And I'm going to leave it right there for now. I was going to share something, but I'm not feeling led to. Let's do that tomorrow. We're going to do that tomorrow. We're going to stay on this maybe for a day or two, and then we'll move on. I really love you, kingdompreneurs, seekers, spiritual entrepreneurs, you who have reached the point where you understand that it's more to life and that there is this creator out there and you want to connect to that creator. I am here to tell you that creator is Yahweh. He has a son whose name is Yeshua, and you get to the Father through the Son. And in that getting, you get to your soul scroll, mission and purpose, that divine contract that you made to be here so that you can be of a contribution and benefit and service to others. And they would be your soulmate clients and customers, because we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about your soulmate community and how you get aligned to that. And then we're also going to talk about how do you find the soulmate investors for the kind of projects that will come out of the things that you would create. Because when you get into that authentic origin of space, of truth, and you're not afraid, you see, because what most people are when they say they don't want to talk about, God and all of that kind of stuff, it's because they've been hurt, they've been mistreated, or they've seen a lot of pretentious behavior that has turned them away. And I'm not speaking about religion. I'm speaking about relationship. And when you get into relationship with the Creator through the door that He's provided for you, which is the Son, let me tell you something. You will live a life of so much purpose and meaning that you will recognize that you will never accomplish everything in your own lifetime, that you will have to rise up soulmate, and I say this like this, soulmate uh, uh, people that will be able to run with your legacy as a part of their own. Because it's not all about you. It's about collaboration and building community that is based on common purpose. And we're going to talk about all of these things over the next coming days. And so, my beloved kingdompreneurs, seekers, spiritual entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call yourself, if you're listening to this, I ask you, if this video has been of assistance to you and a help to you, like it, subscribe to my channel. The information will be below, but I'm asking you that when you subscribe, join my Facebook group, which is KingdomPreneur, Alchemy of Entrepreneurship and Wealth, and my YouTube channel of the same name, KingdomPreneur, Alchemy of Entrepreneurship and Wealth. I believe that we can have awesome impact in the world. And it takes courage. I have never been at such a level of peace and ease in my life as I am right now. Because for the first time in a long time in my life, I'm being me. I remember when I wasn't a believer and I really didn't care what people thought. I was so me that people would always say, "You're so different." But when you become a part of a community, sometimes you lose yourself. Let's not lose ourselves anymore. Let's be the distinctive light that we were meant to be in the world, because you are a light being. And let's leave it there. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, day 18, and we're going to continue with this. And I'm going to give you some questions and some more information that's really going to be of assistance and of help to you in getting clear on attracting your soulmate clients and customers into your life. Good night. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.